Hey, welcome to this video. So this one is going to be on this bad boy right here, which is the new Glossier Solar Paint, aka their Luminous Bronzer Cream, which I have been eagerly awaiting ever since I first tried the Glossier Cloud Paint. And I think I first saw like on Reddit or something, it was teased that they were going to release a bronzer this summer, and I was stoked because I'm a huge Glossier sucker. I'm pretty sure you can tell from my channel, and I really just like their skin products and how they perform on my skin. So this is like my most anticipated release. I even passed on like other like nice bronzer formulas that I was tempted by because I knew that this was coming out. So yeah, that's a little baseline of my expectations right there. Came out pretty recently. I go on the site, I see it's not quite what I was expecting from Glossier, honestly. What I do like, I like the tube, I like the doe foot applicator, I'll admit that, but I don't like their shade range. I don't like that it looks like there's glitter in the product. I'm feeling very apprehensive. I go ahead and order it anyways because I was so stupidly eager for this product. It's $20, it's 0.43 fluid ounces as compared to their Cloud Paint, which is 0.33 fluid ounces, but you know, blush and bronzer are not exactly equal, so I will explain that a little further. But yeah, I go on Reddit, I go and see like how the people are feeling about it, and you know, there's a lot of criticism over their shade range, which I think is very valid. I'll get into how this one performs on me, but it's obviously subtle looking, right? And the darkest one really, like in the promo pictures, kind of more looks like a blush even than a bronzer. So I guess that's a bad look. I still bought it, and because I'm just so curious, you know, I'm here to share it with you guys. Anyways, I receive it and it feels really small. We'll see how long this lasts. I swatched it on my arm and it's like I can see glittery particles. I'm not feeling great about it. I swatched it here forever ago, and like in the swatches it shears out so much. I know you can barely see it because it's so freaking sheer and it kind of fades. So yeah, I'm not feeling super great on first impressions on this product, I'll be honest. And I don't know, I think my skin looks pretty good right now though, which is kind of a saving grace. It blended out super easily, so I went in and just dotted it directly on my skin and blended it out with my fingers on this side, because I just feel like that's like the Glossier way. And it blended out pretty nicely, but then I like swatched a bunch on the back of my hand and blended it out with a beauty blender on the other side, and I really more so enjoy that sort of application. It was faster, easier for me, blended out like more seamlessly. I think it wasn't like patchy at all on this side necessarily, except for maybe a tiny bit up in my hairline over here, but that's more just because there's like hair there. Yeah, blends out and it is pretty flattering on my skin tone, and I am looking pretty closely. Can't really see like any glittery particles. I don't know. I think when I first swatched it, it was much more noticeable, and these don't like really pick up on camera at all, the glitter shimmery bits. But I feel like as I blended things out, the larger particles just kind of seem to like disappear, either just from friction or like absorbed by my beauty blender. So what remains is kind of just like a sheer bronze with a tiny bit of like minerally looking sheen. So my skin looks nice. However, I had to use a lot of product. Like I felt like a lot. When I just finished applying for this side, I swatched like one doe foot applicator's worth. You know, I like scraped up all the product from one dip onto my hand and use that for half of my face, which is not very much. This product blends out really nicely. It shears out a lot, probably almost too much. I am usually not someone who likes for my bronzer and blush to be too pigmented, because then it becomes kind of hard to blend out, and you know, it's better to build up than overdo it, but I kind of feel like this product went a little too far the other way. Like I felt like I did have to build it up a bit, and then the product maybe blended out a little, and most importantly, I feel like it kind of I'm not sure if it's even faded by now or if it just looks really subtle. In a way, it's kind of good because like it's kind of a no-brainer, you can slap it on, but at the same time, I think you just go through this very fast, and I would hesitate to recommend that someone purchase it. So I have the shade Flare, which is described as a light neutral bronze with gold pearl for fair light skin tones, and I wear G10 in most of their skin products, so I'd say yeah, I fall in that fair light skin tone. I guess that one is apt. I think I could have gotten away with a deeper one if I wanted a more like warm summer bronzy look. I feel like this is a very good like go-to everyday that adds definition and shape, but it is super subtle, right? Like if I was any more tan than this, it kind of wouldn't look like much. It already doesn't look like that much. It does give this like very effortless, slightly sculpted and shaped effect. For reference, I just have BB cream on. I'm not wearing highlighter or blush, so like any color in my face is all coming from this product, and you know, it doesn't look too flat. I like brought it in on my cheeks and it still looks nice. I also put on the Wowder powder under this, so I think that it does lay very well over its own powder and hopefully over other powder products. I feel like Glossier is generally pretty good about that. But after trying this, if you're someone who is fine with like spending $20 kind of often, this would be a really nice everyday like slap-on product for sure, but you will definitely eat up a lot of product over time. On me, this shade Flare is quite light, quite subtle, and I just feel like I would go through it very quickly as opposed to their cloud paints. I feel like the cloud paints, conversely, will last forever. You only need the tiniest bit of product, and it still has that really, really impressive like blendability, which I feel like Glossier really stands out for. So that even if their blush is like very pigmented, you can still get like a very nice and effortless skin like looking blended out blush effect. And this one, I guess, is even easier to work with. I just feel like there are a lot of good bronzer products out there, and this is maybe not keeping up that much. I think if the glitter is something that was gonna scare you away, you don't have to worry about it. I can't really notice it at all. I think my skin looks pretty healthy. There's a little bit of a sheen, but it doesn't look like shiny or glowy to my eye. There's no scent, there's no texture. It does feel really, really thin and skin-like. Yeah, feels really weightless, blends really nicely into the products that I'm wearing. It's really just something that I wouldn't recommend unless you are fine with the fact that it costs so much. Man, the more that I think about it, the more it's like kind of similar to how the skin tint lives in my heart, where it's just like so effortless and easy to use, and it kind of doesn't look like much, but it also just kind of makes you look a lot nicer, or like somewhat nicer, without looking like you're wearing makeup, which I think, you know, it's exactly on brand for Glossier. So I'm conflicted, and I also, well, I'm not a deep skin tone, so I don't really know, but I feel like the shade range, like the deepest color doesn't quite cut it, but I do think it would look nice on a lot of deep skin tones. Maybe it won't look like bronzer, which is probably a pretty big fault, but I do think it would just like make your face look nice in the same way that like a bronzy blush or a blushy bronzer might. I don't think that's any excuse for like just not making a broader shade range. Like I don't know what they were like. This could be less light, honestly, and they're like, I think I could definitely get away with using the first two shades, and I'm a G10, right? So like there just has to be a little bit more options for the other ones as well. You know, I don't need two options, you know? That's kind of what I'm saying. Whatever. Man, I like it more than I thought I was going to after like what I read online and after like when I first watched it. But freaking Glossier, I feel like they always get me like this, you know? I just think that the product is kind of ridiculous. It's like, why am I paying so much for this really, really simple product? But then it's just really effortless and makes me look nicer, which is exactly like what I want from no makeup makeup. Yeah, I don't know if that was helpful, but this is what the shade Flare looks like on me. I will try to reference some other products I have. This doesn't, in a way, it kind of feels just more like a skin enhancer, which is exactly like what the skin tint is like. You know, you can barely even call it like a tint or a foundation. In the same way, this bronzer, like, it's just like, am I wearing bronzer or is my skin just like balanced and not completely washed out? Because I just naturally look like this. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I have for now. I will give you any updates and probably bring out some like comparisons with other products in the future. So thanks for watching and let me know if you have any questions.